G'day guys, you're back with Miracle Max. Today in the workshop we have, well, hang on a sec. Today in the workshop we have my brother-in-law Frank. Why are you here, Frank?
Well, I have no idea, but I am.
Well, your car's here. What sort of car is it?
It's a 2003 Toyota Camry, 4-cylinder. We noticed we had a couple of issues on it. We come from interstate, so we travelled here and we found a couple of issues.
Okay, so what was one of the issues that we addressed already?
Well, the radio had lost the security code, so we got that put back in.
Yep.
And also the electric windows weren't working.
Okay, cool. And as a matter of course, we've hooked up the scan tool and we've noticed a little issue. What is that issue? Let's check it out together. Okay, so we mentioned before that it's got a bit of an issue. We've hooked up the scan tool and now we've got a code that has shown up. It's both a history code and a current code. Let's hook up the scan tool and see what the code is. All right, we've got our scan tool up and running. So we're going to hit the fault scan button and drum roll please. And we're waiting.
And I've just grown a beard while we're waiting.
Come on folks, I'm getting old here.
There we go.
All right, so our SRS system is okay. Our immobiliser, no. Everything else is okay. We've got a fault in our ECM or our PCM, depending what you call it. So we can go to report. So we'll do a report, do a pre and post. Now let's have a look at what we've got here. So our oxygen sensor, now read it with me, oxygen sensor heater circuit. Now it's the same one of course, PO0 135, but notice over here it says current as well as history. So I won't bore you with the details. We've had a look at the freeze frame data. It actually logged it when the engine was just with the ignition turned on. So obviously it happened more than once to log that code. But let's have a look at how we can do this testing. Keep in mind it says oxygen sensor heater circuit, not just the oxygen sensor, it says the heater circuit. So what would we check next? So what can we do next? I'm going to use a multimeter. Let's head to the oxygen sensor and check it out. All right, we're in the engine bay now, and this here guy is our oxygen sensor. In this case, it's a pre-CAT or a pre-O2 sensor. Comes up to here, our connector is over here. Now the great thing about an O2 sensor is that it has, in this case, 4 wires. And notice the colour of the wires. I might try and pull them back here so you can see them a bit better. I'll go one step better. In fact, I'll pull off that connector so we can have a decent look. Right, so first of all, what does an oxygen sensor do? I've got it disconnected now. Well, it senses oxygen, not that hard really. And the engine adjusts accordingly how much fuel to put in. The injectors over here go squirt, squirt, squirt. We can measure the amount of air going in, and then as a result, we can see how much oxygen is left in the exhaust, and we can monitor, and it's what's called a loop, okay? Closed loop. All right, so what we want to do is test the heater circuit of the oxygen sensor. Remember, that was the fault code. Now, the good thing about this, check it out. How many wires have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see the colours? We've got 1 black, 2 black, 1 white, and 1 blue. So the good thing about this is, or any of them, the 2 wires that are the same colour, in this case black, that's your heater circuit, okay? So I'm just going to test and see if my heater is okay or not. Just use a multimeter on ohms. So I'm just going to hook up to my 2 black wires there and we'll check the resistance. Can you grab that other oxygen sensor over there for me, please?
Which one?
The only oxygen sensor that's there. Dude. So according to our multimeter, what's it say? There we go. It says what? 250 kilo ohms. What does that mean? Well, we need a base calculation or about a base reading, don't we? So what should the value be? Certainly not 250 kilo ohm. Let's have a look at another oxygen sensor that I've got lying here. We'll do a comparison. So don't panic, but in this case, the 2 wires that are the heater circuit are white, not black. But that's the heater circuit. The wires that are 2, you know, there's 2 of the same colour. So what's this reading in comparison to the other one? So what now? 6.5. Well, that's clearly different in it, isn't it? This one is okay. This one is not so much. We're going to replace this one. There's one other test I'd like to do. Can you grab that, see where it says electrical loads, where the radio is? Second container down where the radio is, where the radio is, where the radio is, where the radio is. Oh God.
Max,
Turn left. Yes. No. See where the radio is? See where it says electrical loads? I couldn't make it more plain. If you stab me with a fork.
I hope you're not putting this on here.
It's all there.
Thanks, mate.
It's all editing and, you know, I can do what I like, can't I? What I'm going to do next is use a globe. And you're going, so what now, Max? That's a bit weird. Well, what I'm going to do is check the PCM and make sure that it's the drivers are okay, the wiring's okay, the command to the oxygen sensor heater is okay. So I'm going to use this as a dummy load instead of the actual load that should be there. So I'm just going to hook up, going to connect these two here to my wiring loom, my connector down here, and then we should be able to see this light come on. That will tell us that the PCM is okay. So now if we start the engine, the heater should come on and hopefully that'll tell us that the ECM's okay. All right, away you go. Aha, there you go. So this, if we wait long enough, this will actually dull down as the heater no longer is needed to keep the oxygen sensor nice and warm and toasty. Anyway, that's proof of concept right there. All right, turn her off. Right, just to show you guys, one last test I'm going to do is show you what it looks like on the oscilloscope. Just keep in mind that the heater is needed to make the oxygen sensor run correctly. You know, it has a certain operating temperature. Yes, it's in the exhaust system, true, but keep in mind when the vehicle is cold, it needs a little heater to keep its toes nice and warm. So what I'm going to do now is just check and see what the oxygen sensor is doing, even though we know that the heater's not working. I'm going to use my oscilloscope next. So there's two ways we can look at this. Yes, we can do it on our scan tool, as we're going to do over here, but also we can do it on our oscilloscope. Now I'm going to, remember there's two wires left. There's a white wire and a blue wire. Honestly, I can't remember which one is our actual signal wire, but honestly, it doesn't matter. The other one's an earth. So all you got to do is back probe it until you get a signal, hey? Pretty cool. Okay, so in front of you, you can see the waveform that it should be. We've got a upsy bit and a downsy bit. And in actual fact, a lot of them go between 0.2 of a volt over here and 0.8 of a volt over here. But what we're looking for is a consistency of uppy downiness. That's what counts. And it should be about 1 time a second or 1 hertz. Let's just get this thing up and running. We'll get the vehicle running and see what happens. So if you want to start it up, Frankenstein.
No worries, you who must be obeyed.
Obviously it's going to take a little while to heat up because it's a cold engine. At the moment I've back probed the blue wire. We'll give it a little bit of time to heat up. Then we'll try the white wire to see if, oh look at that. We've had an increase there, haven't we? So perhaps we're on the right wire. We'll check it out shortly. We'll get the revs brought up so we can see any variation, okay? So over here on the oscilloscope, you can see that we've got an up and down movement. And it's actually not too bad. Just try and active split it. Okay, so we're getting a signal that's going, you know, 9-ish, but it's going down to 0 as well, isn't it? We might just pause that in a sec. Okay, so what I've done is I've replaced the earth from the chassis ground to the actual sensor itself, the white wire. You can see that it seems to be operating quite nicely, doesn't it? Just let it idle. Give it a couple of seconds and it's dead because the heater hasn't been turned back on, or the heater's not working, of course. So we're not seeing a consistency across the board. So yes, we know the heater circuit is okay. We know the ECM is okay. We know the wiring is okay. We know the processor in the ECM is okay. The only thing that's failed is the heater itself. So it's got too high a resistance and it won't work. So we'll pop on a new one and we'll do the same testing afterwards. Alright, the part that I'll be using is a GOS part, certainly not a sponsor, But for those of you that are curious, there's your part number, OX290. Let's fit it to the vehicle. Okay, we're back to ground zero here. We've got our old oxygen sensor out and is out of here. Here's the new one. But what I want to do is just test that heater circuit again. Now you're going to say, come on Max, there's no black ones on there. There's just a single black. And yes, you're correct, because, remember what I said before? 2 wires of the same colour. Now this is a GOS one. Obviously they use 2 white wires instead of 2 black wires. Doesn't matter. This connector goes straight into there, no problemos. That fella there goes into the exhaust in there somewhere. That's all good. But I do want to check and see what our heater circuit should be in comparison to what we have. I think we had, what, 250 kilo ohms or something, and our other one was something like 6. What does our new one tell us? Well, that's interesting. On this particular one, like this is the new guy, we've got 13 ohms, but that's clearly not our 250 kilo ohms that we had before. This is our new one. This is the guy that's going in. This is the resistance for this particular heater circuit in this particular engine, in this particular car, in this particular model, in this day and age. Another thing with oxygen sensors, they cover it with this plastic doobie, but inside this here has some anti-seize compound on it, so you don't have to worry about it getting seized up. They generally come out fairly okay, and you should be able to get a spanner over the top of this guy here. Yep. In this case I used a 7/8 spanner, don't know what that is in metric, I just happened to grab it, over he goes and rip. Oops. Clown. Right, so that fits over there, no problemos, and I can screw it into place. Now we're not trying to hold the engine together, it's just a sensor that's being put into place, so don't get all excited about it. Just make sure it's nipped up nice and tight, but not excessively tight. Hook this guy back into place, and we're going to stick that underneath the hose, and then we've got some cable ties as part of the purchase that should hold it into place. Oh, nice positive clip. Okay, so I'm going to use this original one simply because the other ones weren't correct. Nice. There we go. It's got held in place. It's not going to fall into anything. Let's hook up our oscilloscope again and check it out and see what sort of signal we have this time. Certainly should be more consistent with that heater working. Now already you can see it's responding straight away. And it should start to cycle soon. Certainly cycling quicker. Look at that. That's nice and quick response, isn't it? Okay, so I think we have sorted this issue, guys. We've gone pretty close to 0.8 and pretty close to 0.2. So, yep, it's all good. Right, we can turn him off now, thanks. And we're just going through a full scan now. We'll check and see what our ECM is up to. And look at that. Pretty green. Everybody loves a green. Okay, so let's go on a road test. All right, so we've gone on a road test and we're happy with the results. You know, we wouldn't have caught this unless we put the scan tool on, because there was no light on the dash, no check engine light, okay? So the importance of doing a full system scan on a vehicle when it comes into the workshop. So, Frank, you happy with the results?
Yep.
Good. Wow, man of many words.
Yep.
And of course, Scarlett has come in for the final bit of glory, as she usually does, after all the work's been done. I hope you got something from this video today, guys, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and feel free to comment down below. Of course, don't forget about that notification bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Please do it, he needs the money.
You don't want to miss any future videos. So until next time, guys, this is Miracle Max signing off, and Frank and Swine and
Ciao, ciao.
SJ, we'll catch you later.